Have you ever needed an adventure module that you needed to run on short notice because you just didn't have enough time to prep? Well, today I'm talking about the North Road Kickstarter, and I'm reviewing part 1 of 12 called Death and Taxes. So let's get started. My good friend Gareth from DMG Info and DM Scotty from the DM's Craft are two members of Quest Givers. What they do is they work on modules, they put them out as PDFs, and they do videos on these. They also do some general tips and tricks for anyone who's looking to get into tabletop RPGs to experienced game masters as well. So they've been working on this Kickstarter for a while called The North Road. And the very first part of that is called Death and Taxes. It's a PDF. You can find their video on it. You can also find the PDF over on questgivers.com. Links will be provided below. So the idea of all of these adventure modules are that they should be adaptable and you should be able to take them and put them into any system. So this video is going to be a review of part 1 of 12 of their Kickstarter called Death and Taxes. So let's just cut over to their Kickstarter and see what exactly they say about this module itself. Death and Taxes, a seaside village in the grips of overtaxation and a devastating narcotic problem, welcomes the party. The tax collector is on her way, and the local tavern keep is plotting to make some changes. What do I think some of the pros and cons are of this adventure? Right up front, within probably less than an hour, you're going to know exactly what is going on in this town. You're going to know that the population isn't very happy. They all seem to be stressed out about taxes. It's in the title itself, but you're going to find out a little bit more of why they're upset about the taxes. You're going to find out that the culture in this town is completely different than any other town you probably have in your settings. If you have any RP heavy groups, this is going to be a fantastic module for you. However, if you have a group that just kind of needs to be strung along and is more into battle tactics and not really into the social elements of an RPG, this might not be for that group. In fact, you might try to use it to see if you can pull some of the RP out of them, but you might find quickly that it just isn't jiving with them. So I would encourage, if you're going to do this with a group like that, talk it out with them. Tell them, hey, guys, this is a very RP-heavy adventure, and we are going to give it a shot, and hopefully you guys get comfortable with it pretty quickly. I would highly recommend this adventure for any mixed gender groups. My gaming groups tend to be 50-50 splits, and I think this module will actually be a lot of fun. The women in my group tend to play female characters more, and the men in my group tend to play male characters. So this module is going to give your female characters more of a spotlight, in my opinion, rather than the males. And if you have a group where the men tend to try to steal the spotlight or just naturally take it, then this module might switch things up in your group, and you might find it's even more fun than normal for your groups. Who do I tend to think this adventure is more for? I think this is an adventure that is more for your experienced game masters. I think that you can run it if you're new, but you're going to have a lot of questions. For example, there's nothing in this about any mechanics whatsoever. There's implications here and there that maybe something is difficult, but again, it doesn't tell you anything. Doesn't, help you with monster stats, doesn't help you with difficulties of figuring things out. So I think you're not going to get the help you need from this module if you are a new dungeon master. I think it's going to still leave a lot of homework for you to kind of go with it. Now, if you are experienced, this is going to be a great adventure module for you. And the reason I say that is because you probably can wing some monster stats on the fly because you're familiar enough with that. You probably know difficulty checks if, for example, you're playing D&D or Pathfinder or whatever, and or Fantasy Age or whatever your system of choice is. So I think being able to understand your system enough that you can do things on the fly is important for a module like this. Now, I personally love the idea of system neutral modules. DMG has a few over on his website on dmginfo.com. Quest Givers has all of the ones that are in this Kickstarter for the North Road. And, for me, being a huge fan of system neutral modules, I love the fact that you can just plug and play and just get started relatively quickly. For me, a module like this would probably only take, maybe an hour or two, and I would have weeks and weeks and weeks of stuff I could run. So it would be very low prep for me, and just, again, insert difficulty checks as I deem necessary. One of my favorite things about this adventure module is all of the different random encounters that can happen, and the social interactions with random people in the town. For instance, when you're first coming up on the pier, it's got random encounters such as sharks in the bay. That's one of a few. Random events such as your shipmate falling into the water, and it's basically an NPC that falls into the water. You could probably roll to make it one of the players, and that might be a little bit of fun. And then they got to make some swim checks, and you could even mix it in with the shark attack. If you get to the pier, some of the stuff that is in there is random things different people say. There's also some really good tables of information. For example, if you are talking to an NPC, it has a list of 20 things they might say about various topics, and you can then, based on the RP, give them the ones that are relevant, and some of them restrict you. That, for instance, there's an encounter with a woman where, depending on how things are going, she'll give you 2 or 3 questions she'll answer, and of the 20 things she knows. So I like how this was done in here. I'm assuming this is how it's done in the rest of the PDFs, and I think this is a great way to do a module in general. I don't see this too much in other published material, and so I really like how they did that. So the question comes up, would I purchase this? If you are somebody who loves digital products, I would highly recommend this. It's a $7 PDF, and it's 30 pages. Now, the book on the Kickstarter for the whole North Road campaign is 12 modules and 4 quick quests. And that comes out to about, if you're in the US, it's free shipping. If you're outside the US, they're going to charge you shipping. So my math is, if you assume that they're all about 25 to 30 pages, you got 12 modules plus 4 additional things. What kind of pages you're talking about? You're talking about 300, 350 pages. I didn't see on the Kickstarter page where it said how many pages it was going to be. But, if you're basing it on that, those numbers, 350 pages for nonstop adventures, you could run them individually or run it as a long campaign. It's just awesome. It's a great value. The actual pledge level I wanted to say was like $57. I would highly encourage you guys, if this sounds like something you're interested in, to go over and back it. And one of the reasons I think you should back it is because you don't have to worry about them finishing the product. It should actually come out fairly quickly. I don't know when their ship date would be. However, everything's done. They've got art. They've got everything. The only thing the Kickstarter is for making physical products. And the more stretch goals they hit, then the better the quality material is. They're starting off with a soft cover, then it's going up to various things, matte finish, yada, yada, yada. Point is, go check out the Kickstarter. You can see that right here, right now. It's over on Kickstarter. It's been going for a while. It's only going to be up for another 2 weeks. So you've got 2 weeks to get your finances in order and purchase this product. If this is your first time on Master the Game, I want to encourage you to smash that subscribe button, hammer that like button, and leave a comment below whether you would actually purchase this Kickstarter product. Or if this module in general sounds like something you would find fun. Maybe you're going to go buy the PDFs. That's a good way to go too. I am Juice. This was Master the Game. Game on.